Which is more damaging, ghosting the person or letting them know, hey, listen, you just not what I'm looking for right now?
Letting them know.
So you really done, like really.
Once I get me, once I done, and that's why you see like so many stories where, like I said, the majority of the time, a man may even take you out on 1 or 2 dates, but if he don't get what he want, he gone. So that same guy that just seemed to be all in your face, like, man, you just so wonderful, and man, you so great, and man, you just so smart, intellectual, this and that, and you think that, hey, he's really into you. But in his mind, he like, man, listen, I'm trying to see something, man. You tripping, man. You ain't moving fast enough on my schedule, and I don't want to be spending too much money nor spending too much time with you if ultimately my needs aren't going to be met. So, ladies, I'm saying to you that when you are on these dating apps, recognize that it ain't all what you think it is. And it's not, and most of the fellas, just like myself, like I say, I throw myself into the fire. We're not looking for, let me meet you, let me court you, let me chase you, let me show you that I'm a worthy man. And man, listen, these places are for people who say, hey, I need to get what I want. And then ultimately, in order to get what I want, I need to cast a net instead of a rod and do it one at a time and see if I can catch one fish. Oh man, I just got a rock. Got to throw that back. All right, let me throw my rod again. Oh man, I just got a water bottle and it's like, I'm looking for fish and I keep catching all this debris. So let me take this off my line, throw it again. No. So now the dating platform is for that same fisherman to be able to say, let me cast a net, pull it in, and now I can get more things in my net. Even if it's not what I want, I can kill more time in an effort to get the fish that I want, to get the women that I want, to get what it is that I need out of this pool of daters. So the third thing is to connect and network. When it comes to how men use social media and dating apps, it is to connect and network. Now, well, like I just said, I'm not contradicting myself. I'm going to really go back on it and just enforce this point that this is the minority. Okay, so I'm just trying to cover both sides to let you know that, yes, some men do join dating apps and are on social media to connect with other people and network with other people. But different than social media is more of those platforms to connect and network. Even if you're a woman and I'm a man, so it's an opposite sex difference. It's not always, hey, I jumped in your DMs because I want you, right? And a lot of ladies, on a side note, I'm sorry, a lot of ladies, just because a man jump in your DM don't mean he wants you. I'm be honest. As a man, when I hear women tell me this, sometimes it put a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, he don't want you. What he was in my he was in my DMs, girl. Like, and he be jumping in and out of my DMs. Like, now, okay, well, let me see the DMs then. Because then when you see some of the dialogue that's taking place, it's like, he don't want you like that. Like, stop it. You using this as an ego stroke because you have a man that found that the only way he can ask you a question is through your DMs because he can't reach you in person. He doesn't have your number. Y'all haven't crossed paths in person. So he actually can't connect with you outside of the fact that through social media is a way that he can actually communicate with you. But so many women think that, because he was in my DMs and it's like, hello, how are you? And you like, look at them. You can see, girl, look, you see how they be on me. And I'm like, what? Man, come on, man, kill yourself. I'm not kill yourself, but I'm just saying, hey, listen, this is like, come on now. It's not every person who reaches out and says, hey, good morning, how are you? Or something like that. Now, it's clearly some guy that you can show me like, Clarence, well, what's this? And I'll respect that. But not in all cases. And there's too many women that use this. He was in my DMs, quote unquote, that it's like, come on now. Not in all cases. Like, I know some dudes that really aren't on you like that. And they reached out to you and you use that against them to try to act like now you own or now they're on you because they reached out to you and said, hey, excuse me, how are you? Didn't even get to the conversation because you use that, please listen, I only date black guys. And he like, what? I wanted to know if you got ticket, if you know such and such and such and so, and I'm trying to reach out to you to get to them. And now you over here acting like I'm on you like that. Like, stop it. But social media, to connect and network. But when it comes to dating apps, this is in the minority. Because when it comes to dating apps, the connecting and the networking is to what end is the question, right? Now, as a man, when I speak to my partners, that is the question. Hey, I'm just connecting. It's a great place to network and all of this. And I'm like, bro, connecting, network. Like this is black people meet. This is that. You know what I mean? I'm kind of trying to think, like I said, of other platforms. Y'all got to put something in the comments because I don't even know all the different social media, and not social media, but all the dating apps. But at the same time, you kind of get the point. It's like, and it's funny because as a man, we get to actually get the real out of another man that a woman can't get out of him, because he gonna fight tooth and nail to try to express that he's really genuinely I'm just trying to connect. I'm not really on, like, well, you could have done that on social media. You don't have to create a profile, have your page where you thirst trapping your shirt off and you showing your pecs and this and that, but then you talking about you trying to connect the network. Like, don't add up, bro. So as a man, I'm gonna challenge you, be like, what is the intention after you connect and network, and after you've been able to connect and figure, like, what's the game plan? Because ultimately you on here for something, and it ain't to connect the network, in my opinion. So don't give me that. I don't want to hear that. Because we both know you trying to get something out of the networking. Once you've connected, then you trying to bond. You trying to, you trying to do something. And for when a woman asks that man the very same question, it's like, yeah, well, I'm just trying to connect with people. BS. Come on, like, stop playing. We grown out here. You can be honest. And that's it. That's just how it is. And so moving right along, number 4 and the last of the points I want to make is that men, we use social media and dating apps to get dates with women, and ultimately women we're trying to be with. So I'm sorry, ladies, for the traditional woman out there that says, well, don't jump in my DMs. Well, you may miss your opportunity with somebody that may be a great person that only sees this as an opportunity to be able to communicate with you. Like I said. So it's so many women that will say, hey, well, you need to talk to me. Well, yes, I can talk to you eventually. But initially, I need to be able to find a way for me to be able to express my interest in you. And if you're old school or you're a traditional woman that feels like this is just crossed the line, it's out of line, I'm going to say this. And like I said, I can't care as much how you feel enough to not keep it real. Okay. If you are single, you need to use, and you want to be in a relationship. If you're a single woman and you want to be in a relationship, you need to be open to all forms of communication. Okay, period, point blank. Stop playing. You need to be open to all forms of communication, because you never know how God is going to try to send your Boaz your way. You never know how God is trying to actually test you to see if you're going to be open to the blessing coming into your life in a unconventional fashion. Right? Unconventional fashion. Is it unconventional? I think yes, unconventional. Y'all listen. All right, people make mistakes. All right, but to be honest, this is what sometimes it makes me question, like, do you really want a relationship? Because you're questioning how this man came into the door when ultimately he came in the door looking for you. He came in the door wanting to communicate with you, and now you're shutting him down because you feel like, don't jump in my DMs and this and that. And ultimately, it's like you may be judging him, but don't think it's to the point where just because he jumped in your DM that he might not see flaws as well. That's another thing. Like, sometimes, ladies, y'all feel like the leverage is all on your side because he jumped in your DMs, and now you saying, well, let me see what he got to offer, what he bringing to the table. And ultimately, once he meets you, he might ghost you once he see you don't have nothing to bring to the table. Sorry. Don't want to hear this. You're probably going to click off, but at the end of the day, it's a recorded show, so I'm going to keep doing me anyway. So click off. But the point is that yes, sometimes ladies, y'all use this, y'all look at it like, oh, okay, because he jumped in my DMs, like he see all of this I got going on, he see all of this goodness, so let me see what you are, you worthy of my time. And then when you get in a relationship, when y'all do start talking, and he starts to see all of these flaws and dysfunction and chaos that's in your life, he like, man, I ain't got time for that. And now all of that big headedness is deflated, because now you feel like, oh dang, he was a pretty cool dude. He had some things going on as well, but yet why he just all of a sudden fell off the face of the earth? I'll tell you why he fell off the face of the earth, because he seen that you had the big head and that you didn't understand that you also had flaws that needed to be worked on as well when he met you. But you looked at it like, well, he approached me, so ultimately I have to say so. And like I tell you ladies, 90% of proposals are happening by men. So you can't carry the mindset of, well, well, he need to show me. Like, yeah, he need to show you just as well as you need to show him, because at the end of the day, he's going to decide to make you his life partner. Because if we think about it, and to be honest, you probably not going to want to get down on one knee and embarrass yourself and your name and your family by looking up at a man and saying, please be my husband. Not to say that the women that I'm not talking, but for the most part, women, y'all know that's not a position that you want to be in. You want to be the person he selects. So that means that he has to see wife qualities in you. And most women who are wives don't carry themselves like that. Most women who are wives don't carry themselves like, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm high maintenance. Yeah, whatever you need to do for me, pay my bills, do this. Like, those are the women who are attractive and sexy and single. And this is what some women don't understand. So if you have the mindset of a woman like that, that says, well, he reached out to me, so he must like me. It's up to me to see if I like him. Well, what if you do find yourself liking him? What if he does start checking boxes for you? Remember, you probably still not going to want to propose to him. You're going to want to try to make him believe in you enough to where he proposes to you. So if by the time you decide that he's a great guy, and he sees that, oh, you trying to play me, like, nah, I have options out here. Remember, it's 2 million more women than men on this earth. So ultimately, he has more options than you. So by the time you say, oh, okay, yeah, you king material, you're a great man. He's got he by that time has made his own assessment of you. And if he sees you not to be wife material, I don't care what you think of yourself. I don't care. He doesn't care, because he's saying to himself, nah, you trying to play me for the fool. You trying to put me in a demeaning position. You trying to put me down and walk all over me because you believe that you're going to propose to me. You believe that you're going to decide if we get married based upon if I'm this and that and the third and what I'm bringing to the table. I may bring all that you need to the table and still be like, I'm straight on your table, because I need somebody who's going to be equally in it and is not trying to have a leverage of hierarchy and looking down on me as the leader and supposedly the head of the household anyway. So if I am that great guy, recognize that those same great men that you say, okay, he'll try, okay, he got some stuff on, okay. You might got properties, real estate, money coming in from multiple streams of income, but at the end of the day, you still with your own pillow as the person that you sleeping with. And that's the cold hard truth, that sometimes you don't say that to yourself. You don't think those things to yourself because of your pride. And you say, hey, listen, while I'm out here, I'm going to keep my head high and I'm a strong woman. But strong always gets weak at some point. Or do you have power or do you have force is the question I'm asking. Because a lot of women force the issue of, I really want him. I really want a companion. I really want that. But yet I'm going to act like I'm going to put up this forceful image of I'm good, whatever, da-da-da. And that's all well and good until you get old enough to see your friends and your family members have marriages and have kids. I know I'm going on a tangent, but this is what it needs to be said, ladies, because ultimately you got to recognize you have to be open to all forms of communication. All forms of communication. If that person is reaching out to you, they see something in you, and now just honor that. Even if it doesn't work out, just honor the fact that, hey, dang, somebody jumped on my line trying to show some level of interest in me. And to me, that's something to be grateful for. That's something to be happy about, and not stick your nose in the air like, well, let's see then. Because at the end of the day, that let me see then is going to keep you single, and that's not what we want. We're not meant to be alone. So put on the facade all you want, but recognize I know you are not meant to be alone. You were not put on this earth to be alone. So you have to make those changes. You have to be more open. Open up your heart to a person to say, excuse me, miss, what's your name? You know, all of that. I don't remember another word. Y'all know the song, right? So in the end of the day, these are the ways that men use social media and dating apps. And so if you recognize this, you'll go in with a clear head to say, hey, I'm not going to be fooled or tricked into this. Oh, hey, I'm liking this. I'm loving that about you. And then once you give up your body and give up yourself, then all of a sudden that person ghosts you. Okay. Be very diligent. Be very aware of what's happening on these platforms because, hey, you may be casting your net, but he's casting his net. He may be attractive through the pictures and the thirst trapping and the things that he posts to show himself as a certain man of a certain caliber. But remember, just like social media, a lot of those things, you see the highlights. You don't see the full game. So you seeing his highlights, his best picture, his best this, his best post, and his best smile and that best angle, and no different than you doing. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to put your best foot forward, and sometimes that oftentimes leads to a person say, hey, hold up. You don't look nothing like your picture. Well, that's what the best version of myself looks like. And the same and so forth. So now just expressing these are the differences, ladies. Be aware of these things and make sure when you walk lightly out here because you can find your husband, no doubt. But for the majority of the time, the men that you may find may have ill intentions because they have selfish intentions. They don't have malicious intentions to hurt you, but ultimately you can find yourself being hurt because if your intent is not to just, hit it and quit it, get some cut and I'm out and all of that, then you need to know if this man is trying to lull you to sleep in order for him to get his own selfish gain. And I'm gonna say this I think it's the third time within this broadcast. I myself have been that guy. So I'm not trying to say that, hey, men are trash. And if you go listen, I was that same dude. I was that same dude saying, man, come on, man, look. I'm trying to, let me see. Right? So now I'm able to speak to it from a place of experience because I know for myself, I was using it to connect, network with the intent to fish women. And ultimately, because I needed to breed, and I used this as a predatory breeding ground for women that regardless of what their intentions was, I knew mine was to use this as a predatory breeding ground and ultimately get dates with women that I was trying to be with, that I seen as attractive. I wanted to meet up with them. I wanted to see them. I wanted to see if we can build something or if it was going to be something that I can get what I needed out of the deal. But ultimately, until I got to know that person, I would never know if it's somebody that I could actually want to be with, get married, move on, have kids, the whole nine. So think about that when you are on dating apps, ladies, because if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't have the non-negotiables, if you're not actually, going into it with goggles and lights, because it's going to be a dark space. It's going to be a place where it's uncertainty. So you need to be equipped with all the tools that you need to be successful if you implement these new platforms and new tactics into how you search for your mate. They're out there for a reason, but you got to know how to use them and know how other people are using them for or against you. All right. So that's all I wanted to break down tonight. How men use social media and dating apps, because a lot of women don't understand how it works from a man's perspective. So I'm trying to give you a male perspective. And, for the fellas, the same thing. I don't care how you feel. I got to keep it real. And you should be able to respect the fact that I'm just keeping it real and I'm no different or better than you. I'm not talking down on men as a whole because I am a man and I've been that same type of man. So now when we speak to it, you should be able to be like, I may not do that, Clarence, but I feel you. They do it like that because they do. I did. I seen plenty of dudes do it. I already know what time it is. And so, ladies, the same thing applies. Make sure that you keep your eyes open and you know what you're dealing with. So that's it for tonight. As I said before, go and grab yourself a shirt for yourself. It's a smart shirt. This is smart merch. QR code on the back allows you to stay tapped in with all of the videos, all of the events, all the different things that I'm rolling out. I have an online course, How to Attract a Quality Man in 30 Days. And I'm also starting to do this for other purposes as well. So with this masterclass that I'm doing and everything and beyond, I want y'all to be able to grab some value out of that to hopefully change your life's walk, change your life's perspective, and change your life's results. Okay, like the Millionaire Mindset book says, if you want to change the fruit, you got to change the root. And so hopefully these things can help you to be able to detoxify the roots that may not be producing you the fruit that you need. All right. So it's your relationship coach, Clarence Brown. Just call me Coach Clarence. This is the Sunday Night Live. I hope y'all got something out of it. If it's not for you, it's for the person next to you. But it's up to you to be that blessing to that person next to you by just hitting that share button and say, hey, what you think about this? Have you going through this? Are you going through this? This will help you if it's not a blessing to you. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. You guys already know Tuesday night, we're going to be getting right back to the Mail Translations podcast. I understand that we're going to bring you some value every time we link up. Every time I come out and speak, I try to bring some value and understanding to ultimately bridge that gap of communication. Bridge that gap of understanding, because ultimately we need to find ways to have better relationships, and so relationship healing is the way that we're gonna do that. All right, so I'm out. This is the Sunday Night Live. See me again Tuesday night at 8 right back here on Relationship Healing page on Facebook, or you can, if you're a YouTuber, YouTube watcher like myself, that same live will be broadcasted on YouTube as well. And if you aren't subscribed to the page, go ahead and do that, because we got almost 300 videos right now. I'm at 292 right now. So within 8, we're going to be at a threshold of 300 videos. Man, get on board, binge watch, go back and watch some of those episodes. Get your comedy, your insight, and your honesty on relationships from a male perspective. And I'm out. I'll see y'all again. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Peace. Which is more damaging, ghosting the person or letting them know, hey, listen, you just not what I'm looking for right now?
Letting them know. So you really done, like really.